What up, YouTube? Back here in beautiful South Dakota, 25 degrees outside. Kind of been like this. It's actually been pretty warm for our winters here. We don't have any snow here, actually. It's kind of a bummer. It just isn't because I get to keep working on the bus, and that's come along pretty well here. So I'll take you through a run through of what I got done on the inside, move to the outside, and yeah, show you where I'm going with it, what I'm trying to do, kind of. But I'll get you flipped around here and we will take a look at the inside. So there was a plate right here. It's on the ground. That one right there. I cut that out when I first put the body on. I just cut out my my dash so I could clear my coolant tank, because I was struggling trying to find a place where I wanted to put it. I was thinking of turning it, putting it over here, and I didn't want to do it. So I got it mounted back to where it was, get the hoses and everything hooked up. Over on this side, here is the original bus chair, not the van, original van steering wheel. That's just sitting in place. Van steering wheel, I had to shorten up a steering shaft down there in order to make the bus steering work, because if you think about it, this was a 97 Chevy Schoolbird. Chevy Bluebird school bus. It has a Cat 3116 motor in it. And the dash and everything obviously was right behind this motor. So the steering wheel, everything sat. If I was driving the bus, I'd be sitting back here actually, and the steering wheel would be right here. So I had to take up a big chunk of steering out of it. Got that moved. I had to remake the brake pedal and relocate my power brakes to down there instead of what the bus had originally, which I ended up cutting that up. I tried using most of the original pieces from the van, aesthetic wise. Tried to keep the interior uncut as possible, but to a point, you just got to do what you got to do. And so with that, I still got my harness here, this big old piece right here that has all my fuse box and everything. That will get set up right here. I got to build a tray so it doesn't get wet or nothing from the engine bay, but then block it in right here. This is my tack and speedometer. That will get put over here, which I probably will end up redoing that, because I've got to redo this whole dash. I probably should be flipping you around like that, my bad. And so, on the inside of here though, plywood sides, it's insulated. It does have a little arch to the ceiling here. I believe it is 6 foot exactly from the floor to the ceiling, maybe 6'1". There's a ladder on the back door. I built a crane for this last year. It goes in the back, just your Harbor Freight crane, and then I made a longer pole that mounts up in that top corner. So this whole thing pivots and swings outside them doors. I pick up my toolboxes. I can pick up motors with it. It's perfect. Interior, obviously, I got to get, well, my plastic out of here and all these old parts, but right now they're not hurting me sitting in here. I don't need to get back there at the moment. So once I get hoses ran to the overflow tank, I got to cut out a little piece of angle iron off this piece so that hose right there clears without hitting it and bending it too much. And then here is my original intake piping going from my intercooler to the intake. Intake's right there. Intercooler is the orange piece that's through that rectangle hole right there. That came out up and over the top of the motor. So I got to redo it. I'm thinking I'm going to bring it over just for clearance purposes of all this stuff. I'm going to bring it over, angle it down, shoot it back underneath that hole, then back up the floor on this side into the intercooler. Just so I'm out of the way of all this stuff. The throttle, oil fill stuff over there. Harness, I know it's kind of hard to see with my harness just laying on top right there, but it's obviously a work in progress still. I did drive the frame underneath here. It is drivable. I just had to get the brakes. Once the brakes are done, the inner piping on, I can pull it out of here because I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't. So right now my phone is level. And if you can tell, the whole bus is tilted going down a hill because I'm on a hill right here. Jeep's facing down, all that fun stuff. Let's walk out here. So this is a 1963 Chevy P30. Originally it was an old homebred truck. When I first bought it, it wasn't running or driving. It had a inline 6, old Chevy inline 6. It's two something, two whatever that was, with a little 4-speed behind it. It was a little dog. Got cleaned up the carb, cleaned the fuel pump, got the original one running. I'll get a post picture right here of it. And then after that, I had it run for a while. I was excited, starting my handyman business, and that's what I was going to use for my for getting around, hauling my tools and stuff. Obviously, I just didn't have enough power. The thing was slow, barely even went 40 mile an hour. To tell you the truth, 45 some days. But so I brought that out here to my buddy Heston's place. We ended up doing, or he kind of helped me on showing me how to do an LS swap. So I ended up doing a 5.3 LS swap with 4 L60 in it. I put 3/4 ton axles. One was out of a, let me walk over here. One was out of, the front one was from a 72 K20 truck or whatever. Solid front axle, disc brakes. Put 8 to 10 lug conversions on here. Here's the front of the frame and everything. Put my winch on it, PTO winch, sow winch. Made my own motor mounts. I know they're kind of janky, but everything worked. I drove it all the way from here, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, all the way down to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Here was the rear. I believe this was an '08 GM 2500, 3500 rear end. My little lift blocks I've made. Yes, they stayed, they worked. There's about a foot of spacing in between my bottom plate. I did make that too. Made those ones. You can see the old ones are right there. Rotated my axle where I needed it. These axles are actually going to go underneath my El Camino, my 74 El Camino, which is another project. So anyways, back to the LS story. So this thing was LS swap. Drove it down to Bowling Green, Kentucky for LS Fest. That's why I have stickers up there from it. Very, very fun time. Enjoyed it a lot. But this thing got 10 to 12 miles to the gallon with an LS swap. I spent quite a bit in fuel. Had a small fuel tank. I was stopping every 50 miles to put 5 gallons into my little fuel cell I had in the front of this thing. Drove that the whole way down and the whole way back doing that. That was a decently long trip. And so that's where the idea came in. I want to make a car hauler. So I bought me a bus. After doing a lot of researching, I checked out a couple of buses, did measurements and a whole bunch of stuff in order to figure out what was going to work and what wouldn't work and what I wanted, depending on like air brakes and all the fun stuff when it comes to a semi, or bigger toys, I should say. I ended up finding a 97 Chevrolet Schoolbird bus. Here's the old brakes. So the brake lever came down right here, and then the power. That thing. My brain fart was mounted to it up there. Anyways, so down under here where it looks like a mess of stuff, I got all my hoses running over to my overflow tanks, all that fun stuff. I had to make this my brake lever bracket, so it put pressure onto. Well, I'm just having a really rough time talking today. Wow. Anyways, got this all put together. Got my lines ran. Had to extend the top one, bent that one. It's not the best looking bends, but it'll work for now. That is where the intake piping's got to come, and bring it out this way around my steering shaft and back up through that hole and up. Here's that steering shaft I had to cut down. There he is, you little bugger. It is cold today. Wind is blowing. I got to add another support bar running right here straight over to this bracket, kind of like this one. It shakes just a little bit. Then I got to run my upper radiator support brackets. Got to make brackets up to here. Same thing on this side, over there. And with this style setup, I believe these wheels will be sticking out an extra 6 inches in the front compared to what those axles were doing over there. It's sway bars, everything. It's got 180,000 miles on it. Very, very nice, well-maintained bus. And back here is where the flatbed is going to be going. I got to build. I can't go any farther on it because I'm on a hill and everything's tweaked right now. So, plans are still in the making of this thing. I went and got some steel, cut some bars, and just got a rough idea how I wanted stuff and where I was going to be bracing it and whatnot. This is part of the van frame, original van frame. I'm making a dovetail end with it so I can be able to drive up on there with my El Camino. The El Camino will sit on the back here. I found these old bleacher tops. I'm thinking I'm gonna deck the whole top of this with them instead of using wood. This stuff should last a little bit longer, I'm thinking. That's the old van frame, old bus bumper. There's a pile of stuff just everywhere around here. But now she's getting closer. I may end up having to move this rear axle back a little bit. Again, I guess I'm gonna see once I put the El Camino up on back. The El Camino don't weigh a whole lot, but I'll walk you over here and we'll go over what that's gonna look like here. Yeah, it's cold. It's kind of the whole reason why I'm getting out here. I'm just not liking this weather. And I feel like there's some warmer weather somewhere else, if you know what I mean. But it is my 1974 Chevrolet El Camino. Right now I got half-ton axles underneath it from a K5 Blazer I've had since high school. This was my original high school car, not this one exactly. I ended up scrapping that one. It got a little too rusty. So I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, went down to Kansas and picked it up. Found these tires on Facebook as well. Went to Minnesota and got those. But those axles from the old van, those are 8-lug, 3/4 ton, and those are going to get put under here instead of these half-ton ones. I got some different rims, and these are a set of 37s. Let's find where it is. 37 12.5 15s. I like them, but it's not tall enough. This disc, I believe, is close to 40 41. And that's getting closer to the tire size, dimensions, proportion-wise that I like. 37s. They look good. It's just I need it bigger. And tell you the truth, I'd rather go to a 44. I believe 44, almost 46, I believe would fill up to here, which I'm not against 46 underneath this either. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I gotta get this one's just kind of sitting on the back burner until the van is done. But it's a very nice car, truck. Yeah, there's no hood latches on this at the moment. We have a 5.3 hiding in here. Let's see where it's at. We have a 5.3, and that is a supercharged rough 3800. Might go get another one, have 2 of them on there and try doing that setup. But I'm gonna run my LS swap that I pulled out of my van. I'm gonna end up putting in here, and this will be my fun drive around truck, I guess. Mud truck, mega truck. I'm gonna start getting into that. I think they look a lot of fun, and not a lot of people in South Dakota do this kind of stuff. So I think that's what's gonna be the goal. Is who knows? It might change. I don't know. It's all future projects, but yeah, that is what's happening right now. I'm gonna get back to work and get a couple more pictures and some more stuff done while I'm freezing up here.